Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasibuke ama reality shows ethu la eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows. Siyaphinda ke sikhulume ngama celebrities kanye nama YouTubers ethu ala eMzansi. If it's your first time joining me today, there is a subscribe button la ngezansi if you like my content. There's a join button if you want to join as a member. There's a thanks button and a like button if you want to support the channel, and also there's adverts on this channel if you want this channel to earn some money. Okay, anyway, you guys, I want to talk a little bit about that interview that Owamie did with Coach Nonnie. Okay guys, I do have flu. If I sound different today, please forgive me, I am recovering. Okay, so Owamie called, I guess, I don't know who called who, let me not lie. Okay. Okay, so she had a sit down with the Coach Nonnie, which initially was supposed to be an interview, but then she came back and said it wasn't an interview, it was a debate. Okay, people are, free to change their minds, child. Okay, so it's okay. Anyway, you guys, this is the thing that I want to talk about. Okay, but before I talk about that, let me do the overall. Okay, overall, I do feel like that interview was not the best for Owamie. I've seen Owamie being interviewed. She is the best person to interview because she's very open. She does very, very well in interviews. She's very articulate. But when it comes to her being an interviewer, I feel like she is still developing, she's still learning. So her interviews are usually not the best interviews you're going to get, but she has done better before compared to this one. She did an interview with Mdletshe. I thought that wasn't bad at all. I did feel like we could have gotten more from that interview, but at the time they were already becoming friends with Mdletshe, so I understood how difficult it would have been to actually prompt on the issues that we really wanted to hear about when it came to Mdletshe Mpisane. And she did an interview with her friend Ulebu talking about mental issues. I thought that went well. And she also did an interview when she was raising awareness about ladies being scammed by foreign guys, and that went well as well. This was the worst that I've seen from a channel when it comes to the interviews. I don't want to lie. I also question if really she was comfortable posting it, but I thought about it and I was like, sometimes when you do a video and you're talking about emotional issues or issues that trigger you, it's always better to wait a bit before you post the interview, because if you post it immediately, you're going to edit it with the same emotions that you did the video with. If you edit it with the same emotions, you're probably not going to see anything wrong with what you said and how you handled the interview. Maybe if she took some time, maybe just maybe 2 weeks, and then went back to the video and watched, she would have seen the issues that I saw or other people saw when they watched that interview. But I have to mention, you guys, that there are people in her comment section that really thought it was a great interview. They thought that she did well. So as fun as abantu, as funny at all. So I'm not gonna review the whole interview, like every single thing that they said, but there is one thing that I really want to talk about that really surprised me. I was under the impression that Nonnie no Owamie would agree on most things when it comes to dating or looking for a partner in life as a woman. I was under that impression, but I was surprised that they actually don't think they see things the same way, or should I say Owamie seems to think that she does not agree with Nonnie. That for me was so confusing, you guys. It was so confusing because I thought they were just gonna sit there and chill, and in the most points that Nonnie makes when it comes to how women are supposed to be when they are trying to get a man, that Owamie would agree with that. But let me just clarify that Owamie, not so long ago, I think it was last week, guys, please check out Silo's channel. His channel name is Silo. He posted a video last week. I think Owamie did a live where she was talking about how she went to the mall and she didn't have a weave on. She's looking beautiful in that video because she's driving a car coming from the mall. She just has like cornrows, and she doesn't have a weave on, doesn't have makeup. She says she's not dressed up. She says she had a boob tube dress, and yeah, and she says good, she wasn't dressed up. And That day at the mall, she says she was approached 3 different times by security guards proposing marriage to her or proposing love to her. And she was so upset about this because that is not the caliber of men that she is looking for. And the fact that it even happened 3 times, Lord, ngingashelwa kanjani ama-security 3 times in one day. Okay, so she was upset about it. She was like, how come I am going to be shelled by my security guard? So she comes to a conclusion that it's because of the way that she was looking that day. She says that because she wasn't dressed up and didn't have makeup on and didn't have a weave, that's the reason that the security guards approached her. Had she dressed up and wore makeup and worn a weave, the security guard wouldn't have approached her. So I wouldn't know if a security guard would approach you if you're not wearing if you're wearing a weave, because I've never worn a weave. But one thing I know about security guards is that they shell everybody. They shell everybody. My security guard will shell the CEO of the company. You know, guys are very confident. You know, guys are very confident. You can meet a guy ocela lapha emgaqweni and ume ngemoto akushele. You know, sometimes when you are a lady, if you are a lady driving a car behind those guys with the van, they make moves on women all the time while they are in the van coming from construction or whatever that they're working at, being dirty as they are, but they will make some moves to show they're, you know, they're impressed by you and whatever, and you are driving your Mercedes or whatever. Guys can be very, very confident. So I always think with guys, just if they feel like umuhle, they will approach you. But she feels like it was because of the way she was looking that day. Okay, so basically her conclusion was that she will never ever do that because that is not the caliber of men that she is looking for. The security guards, it feels to me that she's saying the security guards are the lowest of the low, you know, when it comes to her scale of men that should approach her. Listen, you guys, I don't believe that, just as a disclaimer, because I know a lot of people that are working as security guards that take care of their families, that are fathers, that are brothers. My brother at some point was working as a security guard. I have a cousin also that was working as a security guard, has a family to care of his family. So I respect all people, okay? But it felt to me like for her, she's rating my security guards as the lowest of the low. And if on a day she's being approached by the security guards, that means that she is not rating very high that day, because if you are being approached by the lowest of the low, you must be looking like the lowest of the low that day. Okay, now in her saying that she's never gonna go out without makeup, hair, and dressing up clothes, in her saying that, she's actually saying that when she's not dressed up, she rates herself low, but when she's dressed up, she rates herself high. I don't understand how a woman's worth can be different in different days. I don't get it. I don't get it, but that's basically what she's saying. Because if she's saying that she has a better chance of getting a man she's looking for, looking a certain way, then she's basically saying that on a different day she has a different, she's rating herself different, and then on a different day she's rating herself different. I'm like, wait, what? But asikho lapho. Lasikhona is on the fact that uNoni, that is exactly what uNoni says on her coaching. Another thing that was mentioned by Coach Nonnie is that she is a coach, but she's not a trained coach, so she does not have a formal qualification to be a coach. She goes on further to say that in South Africa there isn't a qualification, there is no school for coaching, which really shocked me, you guys. Listen, there is an institution called the South African College for Applied Psychology, which offers courses in different types of coaching. But one of the interesting things when I checked their websites, that they say is that if you offer coaching services or training in coaching services, your courses have to be accredited by Council of Higher Education and also by the South African Qualifications Authority, SAQA, and also it can be internationally accredited by Coaching Federation and Comensa. So when she mentioned that there isn't even a body that regulates coaching services in South Africa, that is a lie, you guys. You can actually go to school for coaching, and you can also get a SAQA accredited qualification in coaching. So I just wanted to mention that. So let's move forward. Nonnie also says exactly the same thing, because she says as a woman you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of your weight, meaning that you have to be slim, you have to be dressing up. She talks about getting back to being feminine. You have to be doing your nails, you have to be doing your makeup, you have to be doing your hair, so that you stand a better chance of getting a certain kind of a man. That is exactly the same thing that Owamie says. And I'm disappointed that they didn't actually recognize that they actually do believe the same thing. And also, Owamie has said in a previous video that for her, if you have kids, you do not have a potential to date her, because she does not want to deal with baby mamas, meaning that for her, she rates men that do not have kids higher than men that have kids, you know. So isn't that the same thing that Nonnie is saying, you know? Am I the only one who felt like that's the reason why the interview was going round and round and round, because they were not recognizing the fact that they agree in a lot of things. They agree. There are things where there is differences of opinion, but there are a lot of it they agree with it. I think that Nonnie doesn't necessarily watch Owamie, and because she could have been able to challenge Owamie in that interview to say, but how can you disagree with me on this when you yourself have said that? Okay, so I think that she doesn't watch Owamie that much. But I'm also just surprised at the fact that Owamie herself doesn't recognize the fact that the things that she normally says about dating and her finding a man is exactly what Nonnie says. And honestly, she has a right to say, I'm not going to date a man with kids. She has a right to say that I do not want to date a security guard. But it's the looking down on people that I had an issue with. Everybody can date whoever they want to date. But sometimes when she talks about people, it's almost like she looks down on people. Almost like she's forgotten where she's coming from, because she herself has talked about at some point she wanted to take a job as a maid, because she was desperate to make money. Sometimes in pilo ikbeka la ikbeka khona, at that point it doesn't mean that you are less of a human being. So sometimes, even though you're saying I do not want a man without money, but her reference to security guards all the time as if they are the lowest of the low, when there actually are people that are out there working. Those are people's fathers, those are people's brothers, and they're making a living in South Africa, where it is so hard to find jobs. So then the interview just went round and round and round, and I think that was the reason, honestly, it went round and round and round. It was like toddlers arguing, And I think Nonnie was very calm in the situation, because there was a time when I felt like she's basically got to walk out of the interview, because it almost felt like she was reprimanded. Owamie wanted her to think the same way that she thinks. And she was on her platform as well. She was on Owamie's platform. I understand why Owamie at some point she changed and said that sit down was not an interview but a debate, because honestly it did not feel like an interview. We had more Owamie's opinion in that interview than we did Nonnie. But even the opinions that Owamie expressed in that video, for me it didn't necessarily contradict Nonnie's beliefs or Nonnie's teachings in a way. So I did not enjoy the interview, guys. I don't want to lie. At some point it was so cringy, I had to stop watching the interview, and then I had to go back because I wanted to talk about it. I feel like when it comes to dating, you guys, everybody has a right to say this is the kind of man that I want, this is not the kind of man that I don't want. But we cannot deny that it goes deeper than just the looks, you know, because at the end of the day, you want a partner, you want a life partner, and you want somebody that's going to be there for you. You want somebody that's going to be your friend, your best friend. And so it goes deeper than the looks. However, we cannot leave the looks out completely, because like they say, beauty is in the eye of a beholder. Somebody has to be attractive to you, and we are attracted in different things. So obviously the looks count, because sometimes you look at a guy, you say, the guy is cute, and then your friend is like, I'm Gani, no, not this one, you know. But that does not mean that people that are security guards or work at checkers, because sometimes we refer to people that work at checkers, that should not take a chance if they see a beautiful lady. You can say, no, but you are not what I'm looking for, but that does not mean that now you should feel insulted that this man looked at you without makeup, without hair, dressed down, and thought you were beautiful, because that's what happened. They saw you looking natural and they thought you were beautiful. Because I don't think that the security guard expected you to say yes, asithandani. Basuke bezidlalela nje ama-security guard. You know, those people are mostly married. Those people mostly bayalobola emakhaya. Abanye basuke beze nje etown bezohlalela ukusebenza. Basuke beyidlalisele, especially if kwamaZulu. I wonder if kwamaZulu amaZulu intombi mayiqhamuka iyashelwa nje into eyenziwayo leyo. You know, it doesn't mean that they really want a relationship with you. If you are beautiful, they have to show appreciation. And one of the ways that guys show appreciation is saying, oh, hayi sisi ngiyakuthanda, ngingakushada ngisho ukukushada, lying to you, you know. And sometimes we take it too seriously, like, oh my God, the security guard wants to marry me. No, security guard iyazidlalela, you know. Anyway, I'm moving away from the interview. I want to hear from you guys, because maybe you thought of that interview different. Of course, I didn't talk about everything that they talked about. What did you think? Because mina, I feel like uNonnie no Owamie amawele adansela ugogo, you know. They are twins in thinking when it comes to dating. They basically believe the same thing, and I'm wondering what is it that makes Owamie not see ukuthi her and uNonnie believe the same thing. They say the same things, the exact same things, yet they don't see that they say the exact same things. I commend uNonnie for sitting through that interview, you guys, because at some point, honestly, I was like, why is she still sitting there? And anyway, I guess Owamie wouldn't have any issues with the interview because she posted it. And maybe it's a good thing that she did, because she got a lot of interaction, because there are people that agree with her, there are people that agree with uNonnie. So at the end of the day, it's a video that is giving a lot of interaction, and also on YouTube a lot of people are talking about it. So maybe it was a good idea to post it. I personally would have had a second thought about it, but anyway, you guys, it is YouTube. You have a right to post whatever. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like the video before share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginithanda kakhulu.